You see, according to EOCO, they received a petition. Yeah. This is the petition. This is the. But between the time I can't let them know from IMC, and the time they be no more.
They call 20 million.
Okay. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll get into the facts of the matter. So this is what they wrote to me.
Okay.
Then we showed up on Tuesday, April 28th.
April 28th.
We showed up.
Yes.
See, acquire no. Me Obi. Me name lawyers. Cause you 5 minutes crowd. And I say, oh, me dey men call. Now, when they did me, they will call me. Every April 28th, no, constantly my lawyers will reach out. When do you expect us to come and say, oh, don't worry, when we need you, we'll call you. Constantly. Because we took their contact. Obi and frame that my friend said, I went the same day, I went there. Because these are normal processes. I have always insisted that the fact that, you see, EOCO no here boni remember, say, EOCO not in the baby.
Yes.
And now, Executive Secretary the petition he is enjoined to pursue the petition.
Yes.
EOCO inviting you in itself is not.
Yes.
And you need to show up and cooperate with them, because some of these things, they are things that can easily be dealt with.
Yes.
When there are trails and documents to that effect. So any big deal.
Yes.
We went. Now, between April and July 4th, Obianka Henry, Obiani and Sembia, it's here train. Me to Quine Echo program, London, on the 4th of July. In fact, I cry me Jamaica airport, because I was just going and coming back the next Saturday. To be parking me car airport, and I'm a koi. I went on Sunday, so I arrived on, I arrived on Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, me back. Me do airport. Me do Ghana airport. Me fia brocha me back. Me do Ghana airport. Me do immigration. You say, oh, you say when you should be wo. A Dembu Mount Yanko. Me koya. You say your name is on the stop list.
On the stop before say we be too quiet now. We are aware say we didn't was stop list.
Say me too quiet. And can me didn't was stop list and say me too quiet.
And come to me inko.
Come to me inko.
Yeah.
And I obi one say what should me? Now humia. And I do me to stop list.
Sure.
Stop list here. We hear ni pano. Wa friend no omba o hwe no unu baabia into yam hye so say bia wan hwe ni ye a obedwane not to stop let's say in case any people we ba ha say o free Ghana mamo manenko na we am ba Ghana dey na me dey stop let's
and before say obeko no there was no invitation to you
obi if there was an invitation me say meko say mako ba akọ dada
sure
inti meko inti if there was an invitation I would have gone. So in fact when I got to the immigration I was shocked. I was like me dreaming. I was very worried, because I was like, what is this? One say, me movies are that stop list, normally terrorists, one say, like high treason for no Sa unsa normally movie commando movies Russia for no we no. Na do to stop list.
Sure.
So to see myself on stop list, I was very worried. I was like, why am I on a stop list? Like what have I done? In any case, even if I've done something, you can find me. So I went to my phone to go and check the beer.
Now, Oma sending
me message in a mean. Even though message in the I become a lawyer's work because they are in touch with them. No, me share me who. Let me be some lawyers. Did you receive any invitation from you? Almost they belong. Oh, so why they put me on the stop? What the enco? Who been here? They me call immigration headquarters. And I'm FD free. They me call EOCO headquarters Saturday night. The Saturday night, I couldn't spend it. I thought I share me the bag and I share on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I feel me share. We be PA Monday, and that's for me is the reason why we have it. Otherwise, there's no point that we even have this conversation. Because for me, and let me put it on record, there is nothing wrong in serving in public office. No. What is wrong with it? Absolutely nothing wrong. And EOCO has done nothing wrong if they receive a petition and they are going into it. But the problem, where I have a problem with EOCO, and they know, I've said it, I've asked them, so I can speak to it, is that you don't treat citizens like that. First of all, you and I know what we've been discussing from the get-go. In fact, you have the benefit of all the full facts. So you know that the audit itself, the issue around me that I have to speak to is not even more than 5.2 million.
I get that, but we'll come there and go into
the...
Yes.
I'm about to say, EOCO say or investigative miracles for 55 million. To the extent, say, Miracle's accountant and Tuma, he started returning the loot. No? I was livid. I was sad. Obi, I was devastated. I said, what is this? Like, must it be like that? That is where I remembered 2025 in Common Executive Secretary in BDS. Yes, because Obi, but for the fact that you want to shut me up, why do you fabricate this and put on me when you know the facts are there? Senka facts in one committee as here. Only says me. Obi, if you are under investigation for one city, EOCO is enjoined by law to tell you.
Yes. Yes.
But you have told me, say you are investigating me for 50 pesos. Why then do you go and put it out and say you are investigating me for 1,500?
1,500.
That for me is where, in fact, throughout the entire EOCO process, I was never worried. Probably some say nobody should, because a process. There's nothing wrong with going through the process. But my sadness was when I came out and I realized that
there was a statement that out.
It's a propaganda spin.
55
How?
million.
No organization nangasa mi ko no bi. Organization no say me dey handing over note actually.
Yes.
Organization nangasa na ska say na wom.
I think it was 33 million. But even before say Yebeba to come and establish why you think say 55 million is spent, no, we have to go into the issues now.
Okay.
Auditors, no, a flag, you know. But before that, when you were picked up at the airport, no, there was that narrative, or at least maybe I read it on social media from where I was, where you access to lawyers. Is that what happened? Or lawyers had access to you?
Saturday, no. Sunday, no. I saw my lawyers on Monday afternoon.
And the reason was?
I don't know. Send me the more inside into me. I don't know. Even no more. Me mom would say this is what has happened. The Saturday, Sunday, no. It was Monday. And I mean, I said, Bobby, I don't put it to be very honest with you and frank with you. I don't have any complaints about those things. Because they tell us because those are processes. Those things you go through them. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Me, like I've said it, I have absolutely no complaint or problem with the EOCO.
With going through the process.
No, I have a problem with that
the narrative
one
out
statement they released. But for that statement, we'll not even be having that conversation. For the purposes of emphasis and clarity, you read the EOCO's letters. Now you know what GAPT is in the audit report.
Yes.
Now you know what P&Y investment is in the audit report. And now you know what BIMABA is in the audit report. These are the three things that EOCO invited me to discuss with me on.
Based on the petition from
the Parent Executive Secretary. Obi, Yankani Nina Boom, 3.2 million for GAPT.
Yes.
588,000 for the P&Y investment.
Which has already been.
Student has already been, but they make us and make a point.
Okay.
And then 5.2 million for GAPT. Okabumwa, 9 million and 5,000.
9 million and 5,000. Okay. These are the three issues flagged by the audit report.
And these are the three issues written to me by the Executive Secretary. Okay. And these are the three issues written to me by EOCO. And yet, miraculously, under some strange circumstances, EOCO, in even writing on the back of the invitation on the petition from IMCC, still inflated this 9 million
to 20 million. Almost about 20 million.
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. Me, like I said, I don't have a problem. But if you say these are the three issues, then these three issues do not amount to 20 million. They amount to 9 million. For whatever reason why you did 20, you only know. But again, facts are facts. I don't know, you don't fight those things. And I feel me buy a discussion. I've been cooperating. I was with you. Obi, I didn't even hear my show.
Yes.
All the things that were happening on the street. Monday 9:30 p.m. And I'm they were protesting on my behalf. I didn't even know. It wasn't Monday, Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. And I'm Tuesday and I'm in fact, a reanimu around. And remember, about 4 p.m. when they were transporting me to go and do a search in my house.
Yeah.
And I mean, who says I was shocked when I saw the people. Because I was even telling them, but how? How did people get to know about this? And I say, I'm and I say, no. The people that knew I was here have strict instructions to ensure that this doesn't happen. It's here moving in one. I mean, we say, a friend is saying, oh, it's all over social media. Before I realized that apparently David Tamaklu, who is very closely associated with the EOCO, is the one that made the first post about my detention at EOCO. Fast forward. Many EOCO for come if pictures of Muko take here. I want me fear midday when they showed it.
I know why I'm gonna take pictures.
EOCO, I was with them. All the pictures them I know man for uncle how want to mean. They took and then you shared it. It's okay. It's okay. Nina and yeah issue. Obi politics yeah, me a politician. Me crown and menya and this in the business you know, you're just doing politics. So all those things don't bother me. My real bother is the official statement. You see, people like David Tamaklo and Co. They are just doing their social media, doing their politics. It's an NDC guy doing his politics. It's okay. But for an organization like EOCO, you don't do that to your citizen. You don't do that to your citizen. Know me very well that this is what you are discussing with me in there.
Yes.
And then you put out there a different figure. In fact, I've asked them.
You've asked them about the 50.
Yes, I asked them.
Because again, sitting here, and maybe EOCO had written to you, said, "Bra, on these 3 issues." But in the process, they may have identified other issues.
So I asked them. Okay.
Well, if there are any other issues, they have to let you know.
Yes. Okay. As far as you've been able to put it out there in a statement there, that means you've settled on some. Okay, can you please tell me, as I am sitting here, the ayeka 55 million offer our they told me say almost 55 million will be
EOCO officers.
Yes, Kachem said they didn't give any 55 million out to anybody. And they are right. You can't, because the fact of the matter is that in my engagement with them, there is no 55. In fact, there cannot be 55 million OB. Organization didn't have 55 million.
What if the EOCO officers now can they deny this statement?
Well, they can deny. If they deny that, they should come bring the 55 million out.
Where they got the 55 million from?
And I mean, now we investigating for 55 million. Who to mean can't me? It's here, ban send out to me 55. It's so deny a very top one.
From the 3 issues they are investigating you on, no can you
9 million and 5,000.
Even that.
I don't know 3.2 or gapti. It's gapti no more. Do no or 558,000. Accountant 5.2 million. Any conversation that EOCO is having with me in terms of procurement process. I know Crampono almost say consultant no ye Jumano or you are down for. We have identified the consultants and they were down for. And see, that is what we are on now. It's okay. Some of the money in our processes. So beside your conversations. And see, that's why I keep saying, say, and no, it's nothing. And yeah, extra so you could say, yeah, investigation. Oh yeah, Oma consultant be contract consultants, no, were down for. And I didn't know the man were down for conversations. Oh, maybe I'm down for, but I wasn't part of the selection process. Selection process was done by somebody else near the Obinasa Kroma and I for your business.
Yes.
President in New York ran your business. President in New York called a cabinet, your friend is saying gold mining. So president will QC no.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever heard me speak against the president brother doing business? No. You know why? Because I keep insisting. I've said it everywhere. Say, Bawumia be president. Ninuya Abraham Bawumia. As we speak, or your businessman from President Kufuor time, or your businessman at Amel's time, or your businessman Mahama time, or your businessman Kufuor time. It is a Bawumia be president. Abraham Bawumia should not stop being a businessman. So he will still do business. That is why when you go to cabinet and go and take a gold concession for because I want you to put it on record, say, if Ibrahim Mahama is doing business, which I have no problem with, then there is no way, say, Abraham Bawumia cannot do business when Bawumia is president. Because as we speak, Bawumia is not president, but Abraham Bawumia is doing business. Why should Abraham Bawumia all of a sudden stop doing business? And that is why I always had issues with the NDC people who were always going after Gabi or Tredakon, Kendoforiata and all this. I said, stop what you are doing. Because the fact that Gabi's cousin or uncle is president doesn't all of a sudden stop him from doing anything in his life. And see, where we have been since Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and said consultancy 5.2 million. Audit reports say, and guess I'm here international competitive bidding, and I mean use international competitive bidding. And I yoke you consultants and call you or your best friend. Your best friend, I want to shubum, when any business. Your come account to Mukre, Musa was sending Skada, Musa was sending Skada into the Yeshim. It's okay. There's no problem with that. Consultancy,
the 5.2 million.
What is the label? Read the label.
In the way, Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, MMDC is Community Engagement 2022-2023. Okay, from IMCC.
Yes.
It is a reporter be my for ne submit
yes. Yes. Inti ejuma ni nie na EOCO say oh ejuma na mo ye no wo de ma wadanfo na wadanfo eye ejuma no.
Oh, okay.
So that is what we've been discussing for the past 3 days, 4 days at EOCO. You understand? Bobby, on the back of this report, Cabinet established a Cabinet subcommittee.
A report you crab.
Yes, a Cabinet subcommittee to look at the needs, the priority projects are. A war report imua a bind to me a fan in 10 terms why. Niamadi been a coffee drip by.
From this report?
Yes, in a coffee drip in India by because we realized that most of the needs for the assemblies were roads. Baby now roads. So government decided that listen, we may not be able to asphalt or tar every road at the same time. Machines in at least any permanent presence in the district. There was a subcommittee set up by cabinet. Now the chief of staff and the vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, were co-chair. Director of research at the presidency and AS secretary. Me and I'm coordinator. There are other reports that came out of that from this. Itemizing ABA, I said this should be our short list of ABA 30. That 30 has been shortlisted. Then further shortlisted by the subcommittee to identify which ones government can get done within that space of time. And then identify agencies are bind it be a clinic. Now committee now fair health insurance say more project fund no. Clinic and all of that. So all those things have been done. But that is what the EOCO is discussing with me. Obi, how do you discuss 5.2 million consultancy work with me? And then you put a statement out saying we're investigating for 55 million. Now we are sir. DM partner we film.
Because you believe so much in story now on a Ghana for a channel every year, you know. Do you feel, sir, you've been defamed?
Obi, I haven't only been defamed though. I have been maligned. I have been to say meraho. Menkandada. Manka is a meraho na me wow. Hey, obi to them David Tamaklo. Or try out show social media say me nya me ho ama maware miensa. Me no ka say me kra wa packing the bags o.
No, say David Tamaklo no onye EOCO.
No. I'm just saying it is all emanating from the impact of some of these things. The impact of some of these things. Me fear your mountains am umako twitwa amode to miss 2019 na me if you know me start if you know krana a friend say me kra me nyambe ye MCA nkakran be poso dan woni bi se no usif utumi ye kakra na wa flow na wo hyemu a ewuma na wa ye kakra ewuma na wa ye kakra ewuma na kakra akotwa na da beto social media na odi mu fa na aban we se ye ka say ye kotwitwa nkrofo fie a omotitimu a na da beto abonti a ye betumi nya bebi atena.
But Samanfo who dying now, don't you think that is something that was a Obia can say, hey,
and Obi na me kra me as pass me to me abobra on say me say ye wo mountains here me say to be.
Yes.
Obi 2000 plot go. You see idea to abonti ebusunya say na me dan na me ton 2000 plot. Nti say bia obi pass as wo mountains say there home. Obi multiply 2000 plot by mfane say 20,000 kwan say they forget if I say me say ebusu asase na me lidi aton into the ebusu asase na me ton obi 20,000 kwan ba ku bia menya wo so a 20,000 times 2,000 is 40 million. Obi nti 40 million they say me ye kra ba be see despite the bi wo e won cry wo una wenya osika na wo se wo be si wo de wo laboni ne cantonment laboni na wo kwakosi no me dan na me si no edan ni nyina mu kura no wo sika ne to asase pe wo cantonment wo no me dan na mesi no wo me dan ni sika be to asase pe wo cantonment na wo so wo de ne be to asase wo cantonment ne wo sini na me de no mesi ni say compound house wo hwe it say compound house wo na compound house here no na mesi ni say compound house wo be possible
ebusuya asase so
no me to yes asase ne say busuya asase kura wo ni me busuya ade ba ko busuya asase wo ne say ye de cho kura tuaka.
Of course, that's in.
Uni must have some amount here.
Usi udai wo.
Me na me catch it.
If I see a die or family lands right.
Yes. What one ya beje fi omansem. Nti ebusu asase se ye de cha okra atuaka. Na je ho krata na fansa esiso. Na be ye wo ne wo mbade ya. So aja se. Nti obi we ade ade beto social media na de ye we. Esisa wo kra no bisa won se na de nti na bia wo no se wo pe bia. Na wa ba usi o mountains wo no. Me won sanse ne bebre. David Oba Obi say we lands in Bida. Yes, when you come, the lands are there. meton me one penny for we won beton asase ni bi wo me ho e wo mountains ho into ba meton bi ama now so kakran wo de dan den esi so but this one that you are as a dan asem ka den ha me ho na dan ye to abawie 2024 na ndc for ni pay akoye odi obi ata anything do America what's his name generally odi obi ata me I order to social media no yes no be said dan en pass and en pass dan en pass esi abonten nti that's not my issue obi de ha me e won nsem ni na 3 wives no send me what 3 wives an kan yeme ya e ka magi atum but see am ni 3 wives ade atum isu yi na just obi
no say no eno nipa na o kan ye no it is within your right to institute civil action.
No, but they are all emanating
it
from.
It flows from
yes.
your concerns.
Obi aye no pe me no ka say ebusuafo ni ade nyina frɛ say na over 55 million na on can what you say. So it's I think that they've done me a lot of disservice. That does not in any way take it away from the fact that we are discussing substantive issues, which I have always cooperated on those substantive issues. Endra Kramiko. So what you say, Andra, I was there. We are discussing substantive issues, serious issues that we are discussing. And I keep saying, some of these things, you go for too. From my successor now, no what personal vendetta be and I just say, a queen be also, or no say me buy me in it, be a woman buy a permanent job. A Jumana, a Jumana, whom see a man permanent, men money a permanent. Then, and I'll say, Mimi, you ready. I never sacked him. It's not true. He was employed on IGF. Me more than me employed in the proper civil service. Obi, how does it become a minister? I can give you evidence for you to read. Sometimes I am in private engagement in conversation when I will share. But when I gave you this job, you were happy and said, "God bless me."
Asempa FM.
That will be the land ministry, dear.
Yes, civil service, dear. Obefa civil service letter. You were happy and said, "God bless me." So how do you say God bless me after you've come to pick your letter and then you come and why do you do this? Obi.
Yeah, but what he did not be standard procedures, at least when you take over an organization and you feel say when will be I want to say now we institute your friend is saying an audit into how the place was run. Why should that be a problem?
Obi, you see, there's a difference between witch hunting. Yes. So there's a fine line between witch hunting and audit in good faith. Say so audit in good faith and I will not be having this confusion. What kind of audit reports? Okay, do you see the gaps? In one breath, the audit report tells you say we started no document. Yeah. Then the same breath, the same audit report on the same subject matter say after reviewing documents, the same audit report. Report I will say you cited no documents. That same report will say after reviewing documents for the same subject matter, I find that say is the issue. When who document about review documents? There are a lot of issues I can raise in this audit report. But again, like I keep saying, I am needless. What is important is the substantive matter that I'm discussing with EOCO, which is the procurement processes and all of that of 5.2 million. Nothing more, nothing less. 55 million be any baby because organization ankasa me the report actually I'm away from organization ankasa me ko mukra sika me kokoto ye e ba ne say na organization worth 33 million utumi we 55 million na say utumi san ye adwuma doesn't even make sense. Accountant here you were trying to use as a decoy to make it look like guilty by association. This accountant is not liable and not paying any 50. I've shown you all the documents. The accountant is paying 558,000 of something that he has owned up to. I don't know how the men no kaboom. It's unfair. Obi, see, I can say a democracy say near Bayana. A bear tit for tats, a be other bear me no. Obi for fraud. It may not be me, but Sandy Pano or no trato or no so baby. Then where do we go from here? Like, why should you do that at all costs? At all costs, like I said, a queen beer, some miracles, and can anuntum. No be me to share to become a new money. What shall me tea? We send me tea. Me to become a new to would you send me to become a new money? Debbie Obi Ntinia man this for camp to more position me makakota. Niamo di ye, I am no one in a bar. Omobaha no more can send baby Obi your position and this for being tete. A friend is saying first class neighborhoods in Ghana, no more position. no opposition for to meet first class in the neighborhood. What is OBKBB? What is ye
campaigning for a national officer position? My only question to you, Emre Miracles, but now I can say or no, are you interested in national position? Why the U-turn?
Obi, before I make a crown, Makai, Obi send a video be my black rasta. Obi, Miss Channel, on to the boss. Why? Me name ni Pakwa or this anime man, but yes, sir, you see, black rasta, we are all citizens. So when you treat fellow citizens like this, you don't know when it will be your turn, and you would feel exactly what people feel. Me who video be or say, Wednesday was a Thursday na manko, and I may say, Obi, it's not true. I was at EOCO on Wednesday. That was a day after my release. Me free hono. You know, say the next time I should come is Friday. Into me na almost sending me message. Say, I think it was the same Wednesday na almost sending me message. Say, member a friend is saying, I say good evening, Dennis. This is no Bonidin from EOCO. Please, you have to report at the EOCO office tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you. And I'm saying good evening, I'm Bonidin. As you mentioned Friday, I have scheduled an appointment with my doctor for tomorrow, and I'm not too sure when that will end. So if we can stick to Friday, or otherwise, I will finish in time, and I'll check if I can still come. Into me, we are pet. And I'm saying, no, I say sure. And I'm saying very well. Do I have to come with my lawyers? And I say yes, you can come with them. And I'm saying okay. Into me, I think around 3 something. And I'm we doctor's appointment. And I'm a friend. And I'm saying me you into member. No, so me man be 5 minutes or be friend back. Me one of friend back those you are in the boss akasa. No see your share time now. By the time I may do one cry na dey asa. Into member Friday. How does it become?
Johnny.
I mean, where did Black Rasta get this from? And now we see, the kind of journalism of Black Rasta, they say it with so much confidence and passion. So we see now, we feel the no crap, but we try to complete. And to try we try, we need more share. Okay, what that to be that? Why can't we have a democracy where people speak to issues? Obi, me them be a make us be a kind of document about, and only church me party for. And that is one of the main reasons why I think I am the best fit for the communication director role for the MPP. Because at this crucial time, Obi. I believe, say, baby, we are not dealing only with Kenal people. We are dealing with principalities and powers. And in dealing with principalities and powers, you need a communications director that understands the terrain, that can think into the head of your opponent. And that is me. Me dream sharing this footstream. Me permanently. And see, based on that, I'm able to devise strategies and systems. You bet to me,
and that's why you now decided, say you contest.
Yes.
Even after saying,
I wasn't. But you see, so we are part of an organization. You have a responsibility, say, at all point in time, obey your appraisal and identify what you can do. They are to me, they are Abo organization. At this point in time, your party need here inspiration. I'm here leader with a com spacer. Obey to me, I drive you. Charismatic enough. Obey to me, I drive the entire comms architecture to victory 2028. And I promise the party. I promise the party for now. So we will build one of the most sophisticated comms architecture this country has ever seen. I can promise the party. We will build one of the most sophisticated party comms architecture on my way has seen. This responsibility is something that I would execute. Facts, fire, strategy. Facts, Ghanaian voter are very discerning. Gone are the days, now so Ghana voter to Obama. And so grounded evidence factor or the betuaba. That is what we are going to bring to the table. Okay. That is the kind of comms architecture on the table. Then, most importantly, it's not enough to come just over to now fact. The fire and the passion in you, passion is what will speak to the heart of the voter. And the bekani panakoma. And then the third one, strategy. And Krofoya no mudili obi. And this is for you no mudili. Omo free revolution route or background. And for these people, omo yenipa oni omo delia say we are trasa esa o two boys na wo you must outwit them. to be able to have your way. And that's where strategy comes to play. Me, my polling station youth organizer, my polling station chairman, my constituency deputy youth organizer, my constituency youth organizer, my municipal chief executive. Me, I was campaign manager for my constituency 2008, 2012, 2016. 2020 elections. MPP campaign election situation room on the D-Day. Me manage a coordinated situation room in 2020 elections. Okay. 2024 elections. Me comms director for the party. I was at the forefront of the battle. I was there when we lost the elections in 2024. I was there when we lost the elections in 2012. I was there when we lost the elections in 2008. But I was there when we won in 2016. I was there when we won in 2020. I have seen losses. I have seen wins. I know where the gap is. Meaning baby a coin meaning baby a your falter. Meaning baby a as I say a kind who boom near boy home than church. And that is the reason why I mini option. As I say me step forward. Na me to me who see was say embrace woman. E bia menya ka maybe foforo. But party ne frɛ say minim dia menya. Monsieur huna menya. In Churchill menya wo party ni mu no. This is the time I made to me dia boa. Neema Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia abeye. What
I'll do ne say would arrange another interview this time on your decision to run for National Communications Director for your party. And bedase
before bedase yakono me catch me party polling station communications officers over 40,000 of them. Electoral area communications officers close to 8,000 of them. And our constituency communications officers you know say omo twen member. You be build the process no. You be build it from the ground up. We are going to build one of the most coordinated comms architecture nobody can face in this country, and we are going to do it together as a party.
Dennis Miracles Aboagye.
See, minim say we interview, minim say enema bi ba wa dwen mo say so say chire na obehwa. Ade a Miracles abe ne no. Me we futu de ma no. Oma we nye ne twa to obekasa.
Okay.
And we here. Oh, you see. I say we buy any near my EOCO nhwehwemu a omo ye. Any idea in terms of details no. Pressure in here apart from statement on release omo nkasa bio.
Yes.
And you don't underestimate an agency like that. You don't know what they have. You don't know nipa bimpa ye politicians. Wakoke bibia fa ho tell bia nipa kra bia na obetra na accountant na wo investigating the day unim ni ono what kind of question statement unim ni waka je EOCO men kan hwe o.
Yes.
So yeah they are no ahwe ni MD ayi na chi because aba ye na ya betra ka wuntumi asemi wa show shirt kama abetra he so obo man no so obo tiare na ote am from a papa fa ho wo he obia beko omo aye press conferences omo ebocho boy obi awie okonifie
obi ani nsa we mo
obi ani nsa omo obi e ba ye omo fa nkrofo kotena obi kura se remon acha ne achi na tum na ye release no so we video siri bi yeah high nkrofo politicians ne ma etibi ye bi ni obi sa se hwan ankasa no dem ntia baba so
remon acha
crazy so why eti ye releasing on 10 so eti omo okonifie enti me the mesre he's a young man obi anu o wish bibi boni bi man no he is doing well for his party but no one so gitu mu no say accountability so there as so obu oje public office yeah now one significantly and some kind narrative o my enia no what was we go MPP mpanyfo masepa
aden
obi say na o makuri mu kra me gidi say na o follow.
Yes.
And some we di kan tie ne say ya che no kwan bi so ansa say ya che no na ne lawyers kra nya kwan access to him obetra ha o kan za asem
o say first 2 days and then the lawyers nya access
no or say or no man narrative bi e bro baaye or say immigration force say stop order and then or see or no ne lawyers kasai so be kaya or see or ne lawyers kasai say aden on no kan now mo hwehwe be no de farm so na mantia na ne lawyers so mni mo hwe at no point na mte so ka say because una wo betre lawyers are o feel say or is so moba say yes most matching but me person be lawyer e bansa na ebiase and deny no na that me even be a chair no me can say me person be tie no power side because that would be a breach of the constitutional right article 14 no. But in the absence of that there sabe it doesn't lie with MPP ni bia so no beka because the constitution yenchi obi ene sa na no. And the constitution no imperative no and any obligation say you can inform MPP for nienti or match miracles. Until they don't owe any obligation to MPP as a party. A miracle so never can say me a lawyer. It even if we a lawyer said Justin could you now kasa at that point ni mo say na a lawyer for miracles. So and so that is again why are they be miracles in come what can in ya ma follow no pa. What can say EOCO adwuma mo ye on 40?
Yes.
Can consistently.
Yes.
Say eyo ma sede eyo ma adwuma nti e wo so mo ye on adwuma. Wotie nkomo ni bi. Wotie social media post and someone crofo kan wo krom ha. Say the nti ni ache miracle. Me can be say and I've said it so be a wetin baby bi and na miracles aye ma abemu. Unso say the problem pa your statement na EOCO release ye no. AMPP amanyoko ni mpelifo na ma sa pressure do say e dey tin match no me can baby say there is no legal obligation on EOCO so beba out abeka ne enti awache your friend is saying because any right because somebody be hokro full sense say pia bonten whether true or false he will have his day in court it means I would rather prefer say keep me and this no and teneno because ebia wo tene no na enipa bi e hwe asem na etie no no so hu me in a certain light even before I have my day in court which is also not the best and then na miracles again pressure na e de ma EOCO omo nchire mu yenti o ma chire no obechire mu ni onu su nim because at this point it doesn't lie with miracles to say because and now catch and the fact that omo hu audit reporter do 50 million no does not preclude them so omo will be fufuro bi so anti yenim ni omo wo nti ano de enja ansa but so omo de abeto abonten no you feel bad at it because only mo say e be aye innocent but here we are yenchirem ni enti ayache no and now draw the beto abonten miracles feels say no and say nko omo de statement but nti say
they also they could have stated why they picked him without misleading the public.
Well, how is it misleading?
Well, no free said the 55 million they put out.
And on the match, it doesn't lie with him. Beyond even the audit report. But you see,
yeah, but they sent him a letter. Say Omra, they were investigating him on these 3 issues.
But the 3
which
issues.
Which 3 issues in that letter? And the state say 20 million, about 20 million. In his pain, and they said, why then do you put out a letter say we investigated for 55
he may say these things, but also are raising with them.
Of course.
So at that level, they may, but you see, the point here is that into your purchase, and you are a lawyer, or purchase say 9 million is a 10 million young man. No, meba. Because you see, we are dealing with a crime. Maybe the NSA say, me concentration, but how I met me even a dime. But you see, me no now from where I sit, my son will be being so a brinty. He should be very careful. He seems to, in a subtle way, defend the accountant. And he should be careful. Did I say, caution statement, our trauma EOCO. EOCO say, omu discover a new information that led to a new information. And Tina, so you're very careful because the truth saying, nipa or no that sorry crown to be engineering. Inti and that's all be jinana sasa ado nipa no tueska no na ade Tina ya kana saying wama o say
what the neighbor from
but don't say EOCO can be or say even the fact is that we tueska does not absolve him from any further criminal, and it's true, you are a lawyer. So, and no nkyerese o tuenti anebia. That's why I think my brother should be quiet. You see, deal with EOCO. Me my dream, you may take it or leave it.
But if he is quiet, the 55 million which he thinks say enya no kre would
even also one city cry enya no kre. Is that not it? One city cry also on fast kebia. What say ninch some wa chichi no say and some no nyen some wa e chese wa fa bibi. What you say? So omu de omu fa $1 billion sent also. What must say? But call na you one ho. So that this thing, because you see, okay, na side the fufu bin swaba. Non so have kase nya sa na ti say near try asem in the public space. You know, to me, it started this way. Onye bonibia, onye say we will come to it. And Ababi say, but you see, Nyaman Kitingiti be okay. Misappropriation. It doesn't matter whether you give it to a public company or not. I mean, you should get it. Ubi. It doesn't matter. Say a public company, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't come in. Say Sikan was meant for this. That's all the kwaya the fufra. That is where the misappropriation comes in. In Tichiremu say it was actually meant for what you did. But if you misapply the money, it doesn't matter whether you gave it to Jubilee House or Parliament. Catch up, everyone. It doesn't matter. So Bekasa is because it's a public company. It doesn't matter. So you see, I'm seriously, me and me uncomfortable. Me uncomfortable. Now me doing say, my own chasso, not dealing with them. I mean, I have spoken to him out there. It's not something I'm very comfortable with. Lawyer
Bernard Bedi Akobedo.